And then when someone chooses to listen to a politician, a so-called journalist, a community leader that spouted that type of vilification towards law enforcement or anything else, when you choose to listen to that, that is a choice, and there are consequences and actions there also. I think we saw that yesterday.
Hello and welcome to Faux News. I'm your host, Bo Hughes. Federal agents executed an American citizen last Saturday in Minneapolis. Let's get into this. Greg Bavino, Kristi Noem, and others, the comments that they have made both after this most recent shooting on the weekend and the Nicole Good shooting, it is very clear that their attitude is, if you disrespect our agents too much and impede their ability to perform operations too much, there is a line there, and when you go across it, we have the right to kill you, and we will, and that we are solely the guardians of where that line is and determining when it is crossed.
What evidence do you have that he was assaulting any law enforcement?
Dana, we don't need a suspect's help in an active law enforcement scene.
When you say suspect, what is he
we didn't ask
suspected
his
of?
help. That's an active law enforcement scene. He knew that was an active law enforcement scene, especially when the officers approached him, and it's very evident he did not need to be where he was, and he decided on his own to stay there.
It is indicative in all of their comments, which is why they are more than willing to take to the airwaves the second one of these events happens in full support of their officers before any sort of formal investigation can take place. And the only way that this could not be literally an execution in the street would be that if the body cam footage pulled from these officers were to show Alex Pretty saying something along the lines of, "I have another gun," or some sort of threat like that as he goes to get off the ground. Anything short of that, this was a murder and an execution in the street. They had him pinned down on the ground. For whatever reason, they let him start to get up, and then they shot him. And the things that Bavino and others have tried to contend in these interviews are preposterous.
Officers always try to use the minimum amount of force necessary to either effect an arrest, which in this case was more than likely 18 U.S.C. 111, assault on a federal officer, or impede, delay, and obstruct.
Where did he assault a federal officer in any of the video that you have seen?
It's interesting that Bavino apparently has been pulled out of Minneapolis. I think Trump determined that he has seen enough and needed to do some damage control. I also suspicion that Trump felt he did not perform well enough in his interviews over the weekend on this matter, particularly his CNN interview, and that he needed to bring him in from the cold to do damage control.
Both the police chief in Minneapolis, O'Hara, and Governor Walz say Pretty was legally licensed to carry a concealed weapon. So are you saying it's not okay for him to exercise his Second Amendment right, not to mention his First Amendment right to be there in the first place, but his Second Amendment right to carry a gun? And if you do, you can be shot by federal law enforcement?
One of the most telling things about all of this is the fact that the officers that were involved in this shooting on the weekend are still out in the field by the own admission of Bavino and the department. That is crazy. Crazy.
Are the agents who were involved still on the job?
Yes. These Border Patrol agents are going to more than likely be on administrative duty, but they will remain Border Patrol agents. Yes.
What does that mean? So they'll be off the streets for a bit?
Not in Minneapolis, they will, but only in Minneapolis here. They'll be at a different location.
Okay.
That really, in my opinion, sums up this whole thing. The unbelievable cowboy nature of this operation, and just the bull in a china shop. I don't even know how to, cowboy operation, that's the best way I know how to sum it up, it is on full display.
No, I didn't say that, Dana. I never said that. What I'm saying is we respect that Second Amendment right, but those rights don't count when you riot and assault, delay, obstruct, and impede law enforcement officers, and most especially when you mean to do that beforehand.
I think there's going to be some heads that roll over this. I think we're seeing that already with Bovino being moved out. Whether or not Kristi Noem is able to hold on to her job, I think she will hold on to it for the time being, but she's certainly on a short leash, I think, at this point. Trump, as we know, has no problem firing people, and I think if they're, let's hope they're not, but if there are any more bumps down the road like this, I think she very easily could be out the door. I think that's all for today. Thank you for watching. As always, it's not fake news. It's faux news.